Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sue Morter from Morter Institute for Bioenergetics, where we're bridging science, spirit, and human possibility. The ideal is that we are unified in all three departments and that we allow ourselves to come out into life as the creators that we are meant to be. I want to speak to you for a moment about some user-friendly quantum science. Ooh, how's that, okay? There's a subject called the quantum flip in quantum science that basically says we don't have to go through a linear process in order to have what we want. That's basically what quantum science is showing us, that in the scientific model, we're used to seeing that if you roll a marble up a hill, for instance, that marble is going to reach this 0 point of forward momentum, and then it's going to turn around and roll back down the hill. And so things happen in this progressive way, and then it's a linear progression in some different direction. And that's how we have life framed up for ourselves. We think that it's going to take a long time to work through things, to change it up, till I can get my life moving in a different direction. So often we use the analogy that it takes a long time to turn this ocean liner into a different direction. And because we keep reaffirming such statements, they become true. And we think it's going to take a long time to change the habits in our lives, it becomes true. And if we think that it's going to take a long time before I can ever get that promotion or shift my expression in the world or finally find the relationship that I'm looking for or meet that health challenge that I want or that weight challenge that I want to achieve, we think it's going to just flat take a long time. And the fact is, quantum science is showing us that in an instant, you can have a different life experience. It's a quantum flip in consciousness that I refer to in my new book called The Energy Codes, which is releasing in March, that I am referencing that you can have a shift in your consciousness in an instant. You can have a shift in your understanding of your power in your life. You can have a shift in your health in an automatic, overnight kind of way. Now, I'm not making any claims for you depending on what your goals might be, but I do want you to understand this. Life is not the linear world that we were raised in. Science is showing us that there is an entire new power right inside this body, this system that we never really allowed ourselves to have. We have the power to change how our own DNA is expressing in the world. How amazing is that? What an amazing time to be alive. We're also in the midst of experiments that are showing us that our DNA has an effect on the outer world. So basically, our minds can affect our own physiology, and our physiology changes the world that we're living in. When our DNA changes, the tiniest particles in the outer world arrange in accordance with what we're commanding. Now, this is something that is absolutely true. It is the most practiced and studied and proven version of science to date. Quantum science has more research going simultaneously than any other version of deep science, physics, etc. in history. So we are at a time where we can command our power as creators of our life experience. And it can happen like that. For instance, the moment that we forgive something, we feel a shift in our own physiology. What if you could learn a way of living where you didn't even have to forgive because you weren't judging the situation as wrong to begin with? What if you were so empowered that you could see that every single thing that was happening in your life was happening to give you a reminder of nudging you toward your own magnificence? What if you could look back into your own past and see the circumstances that you have already survived were also a part of a grand plan that was unfolding in your favor? Those things that really took you to the core, that took you to your knees, perhaps buckled you over. I know I've certainly had some circumstances like that. In fact, I wrote about some of them in the book so that you could see how I walked myself through them and how I then in turn taught other people how to do the same. And they did. And they're coming off of medications. They're avoiding surgeries that they were scheduled for. They're changing their relationship with themselves. They're changing their relationships with their beloveds, in their families, in their communities, in their workplace. Things are shifting, not only in their present moment, but how they are looking back into their past. It's all shifting because we're having this quantum flip occur in our lives. We're giving ourselves permission to be in the present moment as a creator instead of being in the past as a victim, or fearing the future for fear that we're not equipped to manage it any differently than we managed our past. The only thing that is real is right here in this present moment, and I want to teach you how to masterfully manage this present moment in a way that you never have before. I go into great discussion about our empowerment and about the fact that we are anchored in our own consciousness in the divine. We are whole and full and complete. There is nothing broken. There is nothing missing. There is nothing wrong with you. The only thing that is happening is that we have not been taught how to pursue this life in a holistic fashion. We hit the ground, we splat, and in that splat we are dispersed, and our mind and our body and our breath are not working together. And so we are feeling, as we are identified as the mind, that something is missing, something is incomplete, that I need to acquire something in order to feel okay. When in all the while, all we have to do is bring mind and body and breath back together again and anchor them in the one place, this living laboratory that is our own body, our own lives, and anchor ourselves so assuredly that the entire world that we are engaging in becomes a byproduct of our willingness to dream, our ability to trust ourselves and trust our core and live as the true, essential, soulful self. Now, it doesn't take a lifetime to do that. Now, your lifetime is designed so that you can do that in the course of your life here, but I'd really rather it not be in the last 5 minutes of your life that you realize these things. I'd really love for you to have the freedom of recognizing that in an instant you can have it now and live the rest of your life in an empowered state, living unified, integrated back as the whole essential true self, rather than this protective personality that got put into place when we landed and we splatted and we dispersed and we didn't know what to make of what. So our orientation became externally oriented to see if we fit in, to see if we're doing the right thing, to see if we're accepted, to get some love, to get support. All of that seemed necessary. And I just want you to understand, it isn't, not any longer. We have far too much evidence. We have far too much experience. We have far too many outcomes of people that have changed their lives for us to question it for 1 second longer. It's time for us to ignite and to engage as the true, essential, soulful self that we are meant to be and be living in this life, so that survivorship and getting by is not our goal. It's not a good enough goal for you to just make it in the world. Your purpose here on this planet is to awaken to your magnificent creatorship. That's it. And I want to show you how to do that. I've had the experience myself. I've helped tens of thousands of people start to ignite these processes in their own life and create the neurocircuitry and the energetic circuitry to have this quantum flip occur in their lives. And I know that it can happen in your life too. So to that end, I wrote the Energy Codes, a 7-step system to awaken your spirit, to heal your body, and of course to live the very best life that you can possibly dream of. And it is available March 19th, and you can order it at drsuemorter.com/order the Energy Codes. I look forward to you recognizing that the quantum flip is meant to be for you too. And I look forward to hearing your story about the grand unfoldment that occurs once you do. Blessings to you all.